So today we got the conclusion of Act 2, and there's some stuff I want to talk about. I'm going to ramble in this video. Just want to mention there is a spoiler warning to this video. We are going to be talking about it all, and this is going to be one of the few times I really urge you guys to go in blind to experience the story, especially if you guys are like me. You enjoy the lore, you enjoy the narrative being told in Destiny, because some big story beats will be talked about, as well as the overall feeling of pace so far. But yeah, those story beats are not, I'm not going to hold back. They will be talked about. Before we jump into the spoiler details, just want to mention, if you guys enjoy the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when I do drop more content, if you guys want more content from me. So yeah, one last spoiler warning before we jump into the conclusion week of the Act 2 narrative. So this week kicks off with us on a task to locate the conductor, which requires us to visit the tomb of Saint 14, which the Vex somehow adores and admire. Like, this dude just wiped out thousands of Vex, and they're like, oh, respect, float his body up here. Now this leads to some interesting and cool stuff with Saint and Osiris. Not really going to talk about that, but the whole overall environment of this location and leading into this location wise, it is worth mentioning. Like, I really like Bungie expanding the world of Nessus like this. I wish it was more permanent and available in a patrol space, but that's just my personal nitpick. I've been stating forever and years now when it comes to Destiny and how Bungie treats their worlds. Overall, definitely feels more like that first time you were on the moon and you saw the hive when it was Golgi and things like that. Was it Golgi? Was that the strike? The massive ogre? I forget. I don't know why. I think it was Golgi. Maybe it wasn't. But yeah, like, you looking in the distance, you see this massive ominous, and it's like creepy, eerie. That's what this location felt like. It was pretty cool, and I like that. Bungie more of lately feels like they're really honing in on their D1 roots rather than like experimenting and expanding with what they've usually done in D2. Overall, the world design is incredible. I think I've talked too much about this, but yeah, I like the world. But overall, the mission, cool. Difficulty, if you get caught with your pants down, you will die, but if you are on top of it, shouldn't be a challenge at all. But yeah, once you complete this mission, it leads to this cutscene, which I think is a really, really big deal.
Lakshmi?
Is a facsimile its archetype? No, I am Maya Sandrash. But we have already met.
Sundarish. So this is what happened to you after Neomuna, after your experiments with the Veil.
I know what you can do with the Echo of Command. I will not allow you to raise an army of Vex.
I'm doing what I've been called to do.
The Vex called to you.
Humanity called to me. The collapse, the Black Fleet is finished. Now we can look back to what we've lost. Radiolaria is the means to this end. It represents the smallest unit of consciousness. 1 trillion formless minds, notes in a symphony of thought. Each one begging for direction, for a conductor. Nessus will be converted. The radiolaria I command will be spread throughout the system. I will deliver us a golden age. And if you stand in the way of progress, I will break you down into more compliant elements.
We are not your Vex.
You will be.
Get us out of here, now!
So yeah, lot to talk about, lots of good stuff. It reminds you of some bad stuff, but for one, let's be Mr. Positive. I love how we have a familiar villain face with the face of Lakshmi 2, but overall, this isn't Lakshmi 2, this is Maya Sundaresh. We experienced her in the Veil Containment stuff. I believe she also was in some lore stuff before the Veil Containment stuff, and it is a very nice bridge to the before stuff with the collapse and learning about the veil containment stuff, and then learning and experience this new story with these echoes. Specifically, this is the Echo of Command, which explains how she's able to bend the Vex to her, will and, mold it. We saw a cool little thing of her doing that in this cutscene. Nothing too crazy. Just wants to use the radiolarian fluid to bring about a new golden age. Overall, I really like the fact that the Vex, for once, has an identity and a voice. This is something when it came to the villains of Destiny 2. For some reason, we never had a face and voice for the Vex for so long, like over 10 years. Ever since we experienced the Vex, they never really had a face and a voice. We thought we were going to get that in D1 vanilla, but it was just a black pulsing heart. Now, obviously, we got more details and revelations later in the Lightfall story, but it's been a while. We haven't gotten anything specifically for this faction, and it was really nice to finally have that. The cutscene itself was pretty cool, and the plan that she has enacted is a scary plan, but just because I love the direction and the story so far on paper, it's great. I do think that this conclusion reminds me of some of my cons right now with the narrative in Echoes. For one, I feel like we got to this moment too late, and yes, I love the story being told with Saint and Osiris, but we got the big villain reveal at the end of Act 2, leaving us with only one act with the main villain. That is just kind of preposterous. Some of the best stories told in just literature and movies is when you get a good understanding of the villain. And again, I'm not asking for a expansion level villain with the Witness and how they explored him there, but we were really banking on the relationship building and understanding of Saint and Osiris, which was good. It just was given too much time instead of trying to build up this new threat, and I feel like they put a little bit too much weight in the name of the villain as well as the face of the villain here. I really wish that something like this cutscene happened at the end of Act 1 and then give more time to breathe out the plan of Lakshmi 2, or specifically, sorry, face confused me for a second, Maya Sundaresh. Give Act 2 and Act 3 more time to breathe with this threat and what that threat pushes in terms of the relationship of Saint and Osiris. They kind of were pushing that relationship with Saint and Osiris without any direct face and voice with the conductor, now that we know is Maya Sundaresh. But yeah, even though the threat feels real, this has led to the player experience not really feeling that threat. Like, yes, I just dealt with the Witness and the final shape. You're gonna have to give me more time to feel the experience of this threat, or at least experience something to make me actually care about this threat, because right now it's kind of like a new villain of the week, that Sunday cartoon. We got this, and nothing has really happened for me to really feel that threat. And while the implications of what Maya wants to do is insane, because she wants to use the radiolarian to transform everything into a new golden age and build it into her whole thing, and using the radiolarian fluid, which is being expanded upon even further here, it's like we should have been on this topic a lot sooner for me to really care like they want me to. So far in the story, I haven't felt the need to fear the plan. That is what Maya has for the soul system, and that's a little unfortunate. I think, again, this cutscene is great, but you sit back and get reminded of like, man, we really did get here too long. You may have noticed I didn't really talk about the weekly narrative stuff. That has been an issue for the episodes, feeling too much like the seasonal model. I like episodes more than seasons so far. At least initially, if it feels like I see the way forward of what they want to do. Really excited for these content dumps with the narrative, but yeah, I'm not really talking about that as a big complaint. It did do some damage here in my opinion. I wish we experienced this in dumps, but yeah, the overall building execution of the story they're telling really is highlighted in a bad way with this cutscene of like, man, we took too long to get here. But overall, that's just kind of the gibberish and nonsense I had to say about this Act 2 ending. Perfect Paradox, my favorite shotgun, is now available to kind of focus and things like that. I don't think you can craft it. That would be insane. I kind of hope you do, but they're not. I didn't see anything like that. But yeah, curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this conclusion. How do you feel about the story and the execution so far with Act 2 Echoes? I like it, but also don't like it at the same time. So hopefully with Revenant, they don't dwell too much on stuff that doesn't revolve the villain, because I do think they need to give a little bit more time to the villains of Destiny, especially in the seasonal content. But yeah, with that being said, drop a comment down below your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop this video a like, helps with the video a ton. And for more content from me, definitely hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when I do drop more content. But yeah, pretty much all I gotta say on this one. Hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.